You know that moment when you inherit a box of old silverware, or maybe you find a beautiful tarnished tray at a thrift store, and you just have to wonder, is this the real deal? Well, today, we are going to figure that out. We're going to uncover the truth about your silver for sure.
Yeah, that really is the big question, isn't it? It could be a set of cutlery from your grandmother, a piece of jewelry you picked up at a market, or even a candlestick you just thought looked cool. You're probably sitting there wondering if you're holding solid silver or just something with a shiny coating.
And I've got some good news for you. You don't need a fancy lab or expensive equipment to get some solid answers. We're about to become at-home silver detectives. I'm going to walk you through a few simple, really reliable clues and tests that you can do right now with stuff you probably already have lying around the house. Okay, so every good investigation has to start with looking for clues, right? And with silver, the biggest, most obvious clue is often stamped right onto the item itself. So before you do anything else, go grab your piece, find some good light, maybe even a magnifying glass if you have one, and let's go hunting for those tiny little markings.
If you see any of these marks, you're in business. That's a fantastic sign. 925 is the big one. It's the international standard for sterling silver. All it means is that the item is 92.5% pure silver. The other 7.5% is usually copper, just to make it stronger and more durable. And if you see the word sterling or just steer, well, that means the exact same thing.
But, and this is really important, just as important as knowing what to look for is knowing what not to look for. Keep an eye out for these imposter marks. If you see something like EPNS, that stands for electroplated nickel silver, or just the words silver plate, then your item isn't solid silver. It means it's a different metal underneath with just a super thin coating of silver on top. Knowing the difference between the real deal stamps and these just a layer stamps is absolutely key.
So what happens if there are no marks at all? Don't worry, that doesn't automatically mean it's fake. A lot of older silver or pieces from certain countries just aren't marked. And that's when our detective work moves to the next phase, a couple of simple physical tests.
Our first test is also the easiest. I'm talking about the magnet test. You can get a really clear answer in just a few seconds with something you definitely have on your fridge right now. Seriously, this couldn't be simpler. Just grab a magnet, even a decent fridge magnet will work, and place it right on your item. All you're looking for is any kind of pull, any attraction at all.
So here's the science behind it, and it's really simple. Real silver is not magnetic. The attraction is so incredibly weak that you just won't feel it. So, if your magnet clamps on and sticks firmly, that's a dead giveaway. It means the item has a base metal like iron or nickel inside, and it's not solid silver. If there's no stickiness, if the magnet just slides right off, you've passed the first test.
All right, let's move on to our next test and see if we can build our case. Now, this one might sound a little weird, but trust me, the ice test is surprisingly effective, and it all comes down to a really unique property of silver.
For this one, you're going to need 2 ice cubes. Place one directly on the piece you're testing. Then, put the other one on a different, room temperature surface right next to it. A wooden cutting board or a ceramic plate works perfectly. Now, just sit back and watch what happens.
If your item is real silver, you're about to be amazed. The ice will start melting almost instantly, like you've just put it on a hot pan. So, why does this happen? It's because silver has the highest thermal conductivity of any common metal. It's basically a thermal superhighway. It pulls heat from the air and your hand and transfers it to the ice with incredible speed. Meanwhile, the ice cube on the plate will just sit there, melting at its normal, slow pace. This crazy fast melting is a very, very strong sign you're dealing with real silver. So, we've looked for stamps, we've tried the magnet test, and we've done the ice test. You know, one test on its own is a good clue, but a real detective connects all the dots to build a solid case.
Let's put it all together. Think of this as your ultimate cheat sheet. If your item has a 925 or sterling stamp, it's not magnetic, and it melts ice like a hot plate, you can be very, very confident that you've got genuine sterling silver. But if it fails one or more of these tests, it's much more likely to be plated or a different metal entirely.
Okay, let's say all the clues are pointing to yes. You have real silver. First of all, congratulations, that's awesome. So, what should you do now?
Well, first things first, be gentle with it. A soft cloth is often all you really need to clean it.
Also, it's really important to remember that these at-home tests, as great as they are strong indicators. They're not 100% professional certification. If you think your item might be valuable or a real antique, the absolute best next step is to take it to a certified appraiser. They can officially confirm it for you and tell you all about its history and, of course, its value.
So there you have it. You now have the tools to start your very own investigation. Hopefully, you can look at those old heirlooms and flea market finds in a whole new light. So go on, become a silver detective. What kind of treasures do you think might be hiding in your own home?